All right, Team Redmond, this is Ren, our store manager in Bellevue, and she's going to teach you or train you on how to make the perfect acai bowl.
Yes, it's definitely something that takes a little while to master, but there definitely is a really accurate science to it. You always want to make sure you're starting off with your liquid. You want 4 ounces of almond milk. If you do more or less, it's either going to be blending up bricks of frozen ice, or you're going to have it be really, really liquidy. So you want to keep it at 4 ounces. Don't add any lemon juice. It's just going to make it really tart. Just the almond milk is great. And then we're going to grab our acai packs. So they should be prepped up with the acai kind of crumbled up in the bag. You should have 4 to 6 medium-sized strawberries. If the strawberries look really small, you can always add a little bit more. And then you want your 3 pieces of banana. And it's really important to have the acai broken up, or even in a smaller crumble. That way it doesn't just sit in the blender and not actually blend. So we're gonna dump that in. And then obviously if you were doing a protein acai, you want to add in your tablespoon of peanut butter and your tablespoon of protein powder. We're just doing a regular one. So we're going to go over and grab our lid. Just pop that on. Make sure it's settled in there nicely, and close off this, and we're pressing button 6. So this is a special function just for blending the acai. So now we can walk away and let that do its thing, and we're going to prep up our fruit for our bowl. We're going to grab out 2 medium-sized strawberries, and we're going to also need half of a banana. And then what I like to do for the banana, so it's a little more bite-sized, is we're going to slice it in half. And then we're going to dice it. And this way it's in more bite-sized pieces, but honestly, whatever you want to do is totally fine. And then with the strawberries, make sure to cut off the tops. Dice up those as well so they're more bite-sized. Okay. These ones are even a little long, so I'm going to cut them in half. Okay, so now we've got all of our fruit on top. I'm going to throw away the leftovers. We're going to go check on the acai again. Okay. So now everything that's up on the sides, you want to make sure to get down, and then everything underneath the blade, you want to make sure it gets out from under there as well. I like to use the spatula to kind of get down and scrape everything off the sides, and then kind of mix around the blade, making sure that nothing is stuck underneath. Okay, and then it does look like a little bit dry right now, but honestly it will start to puree. If we added more liquid, it might get too runny. So we're going to put that back. Okay. And then you're just going to keep blending it until it gets to that nice kind of sorbet consistency. You don't want it too runny, and you also don't want it to be thick and chunky. You want the perfect amount. So while this is blending again, I'm going to grab a container. For to-go containers, obviously you're using the big 32-ounce ones. If somebody's getting it for there, you can also fill it in a white bowl like the ones we have up on our shelf. But we're going to do this one to go. Alright, so we're just going to keep stirring this one and letting it blend more. And sometimes, from what I've noticed, is if you're using bananas that are a little bit underripe, they're a lot harder to blend. So that's why it's really important to make sure your bananas ripen before you cut them up for acai packs, because otherwise it'll end up making the bowl not as sweet, and it'll also be really hard to blend it in. So this is almost ready. Probably just one more go. But I'm going to have the container right here. I'm also going to grab our granola now. So with the paleo granola, you want to use just one of these sample-sized cups to scoop that out. I'm going to leave that right here so it's ready to pour on top. there's just a few last chunks of banana in here. But the consistency it's starting to reach is very smooth. It looks more like a sorbet. It's still thick, it's not too runny. But there are a few more chunks. We're gonna blend that one more time. And that should do it. But another important thing to remember when you're making your acai, if it's too runny, it's all gonna fall to the bottom of the container and just sit flat. You want it to be fluffy, so that way it looks like it's more volume in the container. You want it to hit like maybe around here, and then you're gonna top it with the granola and the fruit, and the volume should hit just about the top of the container. You really want it to look nice and full. This looks more pleasant, like nicer to eat. So this looks perfect. It's nice and smooth, but it's also not too liquidy. So now I'm gonna scoop this out of the container. I like to get the spatula all the way around the sides, making sure that I'm getting everything out. And then I'm gonna scoop that down in here. Try to make sure you're getting all of the extra stuff under the blade as well. Okay, so I could tap it down, but that would make it fall. So what you really want to do is kind of layer it on. It's going to have a little bit of blank space. It just makes it look a little bit nicer, and it'll also fall on its own. So now we're going to pour our granola over the top. And then it's kind of nice because then the granola can fall in there a little bit as well. So now we're going to grab our fruit. If you want, you can get fancy with it and have your bananas on one side and your strawberries on the other. There's that. And then we also can top it off with honey or maple syrup, but make sure you're charging $1 add-on if it's going to be for a regular acai. You don't want to just give it complimentary, but it is complimentary on the protein acai. We're going to do a little bit of a drizzle. Alright, and then we grab a lid. Pop that on, and that is how you make an acai bowl.